And here we are. First off, let me apologize for the delay on this video. As soon as I got finished watching the movie, a couple things came up. Couldn't shoot the video right away. And then I had to catch up with some stuff online. Minor things, but a lot of minor things lead to one big thing. And now I'm shooting the video, and then I have to take time to upload it. Hopefully I'm done before 1 a.m., but I was officially done with the movie by about 11:55 p.m., just for the record. But I'm at the end now, and I really wanted to end this review marathon, if you will, with a bang. But instead, it's more like a well-executed belch. This is the first time I've ever seen this movie. I've had it in my collection for a long time. I kept toying around with the idea of seeing it. And here it is. NAINA. It's an Indian movie. It's shot in India. And here's basically what the storyline is, or the story as it was. Please stop me if you've heard this before. There are two coinciding stories right in the beginning. There's a little girl riding around in the back seat of her parents' car with her parents in the front seat. In another story, or in another scene, there's a lady having a C-section. She's on a table, she's being operated on. The baby is pulled out of her, and this lady announces the baby is a girl and she is stillborn. Meanwhile, the little girl in the back seat of the car is driving around, and she's, being a little brat, and the parents are kind of like trying to get after her while they're driving, and they crash right into a truck. Both parents are killed, and you see pieces of glass hit the little girl in the eyes, and she goes blind. Meanwhile, back to the other story, the baby's laying on like a table or wherever they have her, and she has her eyes closed, and then all of a sudden the baby's eyes open, and they're like, it's a miracle, she's alive. Fast forward many years later, about, what did they say? 20 years. Okay, 20 years or so. She has a cornea transplant, and she wakes up from the surgery and things are a little fuzzy. The first person she meets is a cancer patient, a little girl, I believe. Yeah. And you see where I'm going with this? Anyways, the little kid tells her that she has another brain growing in her head, and they have to do surgery on her to take it out. And she snaps a picture with her. And does this sound at all familiar? You guessed it. The Pang brothers, The Eye. This had to be licensed, I believe, because if not, they would have been sued for stealing the storyline, which is basically what this is. It's a remake. It's an Indian remake of The Eye, frame for frame, pretty much. You see the thing where the scene where the lady gets up out of the bed, and she sees her getting up out of the bed and leave with that shadowy figure. You see when she's in the art school, and she's doing the drawing and stuff, and there's someone there saying, her words exactly are, "You're sitting in my seat," and she flies towards her just like in The Eye. It's almost an exact frame by frame. The only thing they did in here that I don't really remember in The Eye, but is definitely taken from Dark Water, is there's the spirit of a little girl in a raincoat, and she's spinning around on the roof. Now I remember in The Eye there was a little boy that kept saying that he was hungry, he was eating candles. But in this one, there's a little girl in a yellow slicker with a bag, and this girl has a vision of her dancing around. NAINA has a vision of her dancing around on the roof, and she falls into a water tank. And she drowns. And then they find her a week later, and so on. That was from Dark Water. But other than that, they find the village where she was born. I can't remember what the girl's name was all of a sudden. Etty, something like that. Whatever it was. They find the village where she was raised, and she had been run out because they accused her of being a witch. And later on, her mother burned the whole village down. You've seen The Eye. I'm sure you've seen the American version of The Eye. You've probably seen the sequels to The Eye. You've probably seen other remakes to The Eye. The difference between those and this remake is that those were good. The acting in this was marginal at best. A little hammy at points, but how can you ever tell, really? We're talking about people we're talking about a country that remade Spider-Man and Superman and made one a girl and one a guy, and they do dancing in the air, and the Indian version of Thriller. We're talking about that country, you know, who breaks out into song for every little thing, and all the women sound alike to me when they sing. Heck, even the guys sound alike usually. A Bollywood rendition of The Eye. Excuse me, I just had something to drink and it's coming back on me. If you're into Indian movies, if you're into the cinematography, the scenery, the landscapes, things like that, you may want to give it a try. You may want to check it out. But as far as seeing it for a good ghost story, no. It might have been more entertaining if somebody would have broke out on some really bad dialect of some sort. That ghost is very scary, my friend. It's Abu. Abu. Something. Yeah, it was... They try to have some comic relief. There's a grandmother in here who keeps like pestering the matron of the hospital, and she's you know, caught talking bad about her. And she tries to be... They try to inject some comic relief into this and fail miserably at that. If I had to appreciate it for what it was, all I could appreciate it for is that it's a remake of a movie and not a very good remake. I'm sorry. So, on that note, this one gets, as far as a rating, there's no gore in it. There's a few minor, I guess, scares if you compare it to The Eye. Those scenes that probably scared you in the eye or made you jump in the eye will probably make you jump here. Maybe. Maybe. Don't hold me to that. But overall, as a movie, I have to give it like a 1.5. For a couple of reasons. Mainly because the little cancer patient has a bald wig that you can tell is a bald wig. It looks like something that they did on Saturday Night Live. When the little kid, it's a different color from the rest of his face. You can see where it's cut out over his ears. And when he raises his eyebrows, or her eyebrows, I can't even tell if it's a boy or a girl, for that matter. I guess it's a girl. I want to say it's a girl. But when she raises her eyebrows like that, it wrinkles up so bad here, and you can see the line where they cut the wig, the bald wig, the skull cap. And in the back, you could see where the hair was tucked under. The hair was like sticking out. Somebody was hitting the booze for lunch, because when they came back to work, they were not doing their job right. The guys in the makeup department were not on the ball there. Okay, and that's mainly one of the reasons. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money on making a movie and buying a license to make that movie, do it right. You know, just little things that you could do to improve on it. But the guy she goes to see, he looks like Wizzle the Clown from Bozo Circus. The guy from the village that chased him off, he tries to smack her and says, "How can you kill someone who dies every day?" He's just going to kill you, he's going to slap you. Big difference. But yeah, bottom line, 1.5. NAINA. Seen it once. Once was enough. Like I said, check it out if you're into the Indian cinema. If you're not, then this probably is not for you. But I want to thank everybody so much for the comments, for viewing the videos. I have a lot of, quite a few views. I actually think I got a couple of subscribers, friend invites. That's always cool. I appreciate for the ratings. I appreciate everything. You guys are just the best. I'm going to compile a shout-out video for everybody who commented on my videos today, and that'll be posted next. Thank you, and good night.